Dad, it's 11 p.m. Are you still working?
Just finishing up something.
You've been going for 16 hours straight.
Has it been that long?
When's the last time you took a real break?
I don't know. This week's been busy.
Every week is busy for you. That's not normal.
When I started out, this was just part of the job. You work until it's done.
Or until you burn out. Which one comes first? Hi everyone. Welcome to Dad and Sophia Talk. I'm Sophia.
And I'm David. We're a father and daughter who probably disagree about everything.
Not everything, just most things.
I'm an IT manager with over 30 years in the industry. I came to the States to go to college and built my career from the ground up.
And I'm Sophia. I just finished my master's degree in business communication. I'm interested in how different generations approach work, life, and pretty much everything else.
This podcast is for English learners at the B2 to C1 level. That means upper intermediate to advanced.
We have real conversations about topics that matter. Dad makes natural mistakes that native English speakers actually make, and I correct them when it helps the learning.
It's not scripted. Well, it's somewhat scripted, but the disagreements? Those are very real.
Today's topic, burnout culture. The tension between hustle culture and setting boundaries.
I represent the generation that worked 60-hour weeks and thought that was normal.
And I represent the generation that's saying maybe that's not sustainable.
So this should be interesting.
Or exhausting. Depends on your perspective.
Let's find out.
Part 1. So let's start with context. Dad, when you started working in the 90s, what was the culture like?
Different. Very different. When I joined my first tech company in Silicon Valley, there was this unspoken rule. If the lights were on in the office, you were working. If the lights were off, you went home. Simple.
Wait, the lights determined your work hours?
Not officially. But yes, the senior engineers stayed until 8, 9 p.m., so everyone else stayed too. Nobody wanted to be the person who left at 5.
That's not a work culture. That's peer pressure.
Call it what you want. But that's how you showed commitment. You didn't check out early. You didn't leave before your manager left. You were dedicated for the team.
Dedicated to the team, Dad. Dedicated for sounds like you're doing a favor for them.
Right. Dedicated to the team. But the point is, we didn't complain. We just did it.
And you think that was good?
I think that's how careers were built. You pay back the company for the opportunity. You work hard. You prove yourself. That's how you move up.
Pay your dues. That's the expression. Not pay back the company. It's an idiom.
Okay, pay your dues. Same concept. You earn your place.
But Dad, you missed my 6th grade graduation for a product launch. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And you told me it was because the company needed you, that this launch was critical.
It was critical. We had clients waiting, contracts on the line. I couldn't just leave.
But you could have. Someone else could have handled it. But you were convinced that you were the only person who could.
I was the senior engineer on that project. It was my responsibility.
And what happened to that product?
What do you mean?
Is it still around? Did it change the world?
Well, no. The company pivoted 2 years later. Most of that work became obsolete.
So you missed my graduation for something that doesn't even exist anymore.
That's not fair. I couldn't have known that at the time.
No, but you knew I was graduating, and you chose work.
I chose to provide for my family. That's what fathers do.
Providing for your family means being there, not just paying the bills.
Easy to say when someone's already paying your bills.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. That was harsh. But Sophia, you have to understand. In the 90s, in tech, in that environment, it wasn't just encouraged, it was expected. The industry was exploding. Everyone was working around the clock.
The industry was exploiting you. There's a difference.
We didn't see it that way. We were building something. We were part of something big.
You were burning out. You just didn't have a name for it yet.
Maybe. But we got things done.
At what cost?
At the cost of, look, I don't know. We didn't think about cost. We thought about results.
Okay, let me ask you this. You had a colleague, right, Tom? The guy who had a heart attack?
Yes, but He had other health issues.
He was in his late 40s, working 70-hour weeks, high stress, no exercise. He had a heart attack at his desk, Dad.
I know. I was there.
And what changed after that?
What do you mean?
Did the company change its culture? Did people start working less? Did anyone talk about work-life balance?
No. We sent flowers. We visited him in the hospital. But the work continued.
Because the work always continues. The company doesn't stop because someone burns out. It just replaces them.
That's cynical.
That's realistic. And you know it's true.
Maybe. But what's the alternative? Everyone works 40 hours and goes home? Projects fail because people won't put in extra effort when it matters?
No. The alternative is that companies hire enough people to handle the workload. Or they adjust their timelines. Or they prioritize better.
That's idealistic.
It's sustainable. Your way isn't.
My way built the tech industry.
Your way also killed people. Literally.
That's extreme.
Is it? You just told me about Tom. How many others like him do you know?
A few. But
Exactly. A few. And you're still defending the system that did that to them.
I'm not defending it. I'm explaining it. There's a difference.
Fine. Explain this. Your manager, the one who sent emails at 10:47 p.m., did he think he was setting a good example?
Probably not. He was just working. He didn't realize what time it was.
But everyone on his team saw those emails. And they felt pressure to respond, to prove they were also working late, to show they were committed.
Maybe.
Not maybe. That's exactly what happened. You told me yourself. You'd see an email come through at 11 p.m. and think, I should respond now so he knows I'm still working.
Yeah, I did that.
Because that's the culture. Not because the work required it. Because the culture demanded it. And Dad, here's the thing. You're still doing it. You're a manager now. And you're sending those same emails.
I am.
Last week, Tuesday night, 10:32 p.m. quick update on the deployment schedule to your whole team.
I didn't realize.
Of course you didn't, because to you that's normal. But to your team, that's pressure. That's my manager is working at 10:30, so I should be too.
I never thought about it that way.
That's the problem. Nobody thinks about it. The culture just perpetuates itself, generation after generation, until people start dying at their desks.
Okay, you made your point. But what about the other side? What about the fact that we built successful careers? That we provided for our families? That we created opportunities?
You did. But was it worth it?
I don't know. Was it? Grammar focus 1.
Okay, before we go further, can I correct something you said?
Sure. What?
You said dedicated for the team. It should be dedicated to the team.
What's the difference?
Dedicated to shows your commitment is directed towards something. Like, I'm dedicated to my career.
And 4?
For is about benefit. Like, I work hard for my family, for their benefit. But dedication, that's to something, not for it.
So dedicated to the team means my commitment is toward them?
Exactly. Not done as a favor for them. It's your personal commitment directed at them.
Got it. What else?
You also said pay back the company. The idiom is pay your dues.
Meaning?
Earning your place through hard work and time. It's not about repaying a debt. It's about proving yourself over time.
Okay, pay your dues. I'll remember that.
Good. Let's keep going.
Part 2. Okay, so my generation worked too hard. I get it. But what's your generation's solution? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you just gave up.
Gave up? Dad, we didn't give up. We just stopped pretending that killing ourselves for a company makes sense.
That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing quiet quitting. I'm seeing people do the absolute minimum and act like they deserve a medal for it.
Wait, define quiet quitting for me. What do you think that means?
It means doing exactly what your job description says and nothing more. No extra effort, no initiative, just showing up, doing the bare minimum and leaving.
And that's bad?
Yes, that's not how you build a career. That's not how you prove you're serious about your work.
But why do I need to prove anything beyond doing my job well? I was hired to do specific work. I do that work. Why isn't that enough?
Because companies invest in you. They train you. They give you opportunities. You should want to give back more than just the minimum.
Give back? Dad, they're not doing me a favor. I'm trading my skills for money. That's the deal. When did that become not enough?
When everyone else is going above and beyond and you're just stopping at 5 o'clock.
But should everyone else be going above and beyond? Or are they just scared of what happens if they don't?
That's unfair. I worked late because I cared about my projects, not because I was scared.
Really? You never stayed late because you were worried about what your manager would think if you left?
Well, maybe sometimes. But mostly I stayed because the work mattered to me.
Okay, but here's what I'm seeing. Gen Z looks at your generation and sees people who work themselves to death. Literally, in some cases. And for what? Companies that laid you off after 30 years. Pensions that disappeared. Promotions that never came.
Not everyone. I built a good career.
You did. But you also missed a lot of my childhood. And I love you, and I'm proud of you, but I'm not going to make the same choice.
So you're just going to do the minimum and call it boundaries?
I'm going to do my job really well during work hours. And then I'm going to have a life. That's not the minimum. That's balance.
But when I look at my team, the Gen Z developers, they log off at exactly 5. They don't check Slack on weekends. When I ask them to take on an extra project, they say that's not in my job description.
And
that's frustrating. We never said that. We just did what must be done.
no, you did what needed to be done plus 10 other people's jobs for free. And then you made that the standard. So now when we just do our actual jobs, it looks like we're lazy.
You're not lazy. But you're also not hungry.
Hungry for what? A heart attack? A divorce? Burnout before I'm even established?
That's dramatic. Most people don't end up like that.
Your colleague did. Your coworker whose marriage fell apart did.
And many others didn't. Many others worked hard and built successful, fulfilling lives. You're cherry-picking the worst cases.
Am I? Or are you ignoring them because they make you uncomfortable?
I'm not ignoring anything. I'm saying hard work isn't the problem. The problem is people who don't know how to manage stress.
Oh, so it's their fault? If they burn out, they just didn't handle it well enough?
I'm saying that some people are better at dealing with pressure than others.
That's convenient. Blame the individual, not the system.
And you're doing the opposite, blaming the system so individuals don't have to take any responsibility.
I'm saying the system is broken. You're saying people are weak. Those aren't the same thing.
And I'm saying your generation's answer, just work less and hope for the best, isn't a solution either.
That's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying? Because it sounds like you want all the benefits of a career without any of the sacrifice.
I want a sustainable career. One where I'm still healthy and sane when I'm your age.
And what happens when your colleagues who didn't set boundaries get promoted ahead of you? What happens when they get the opportunities because they were willing to go the extra mile?
Then I'll deal with it. But at least I'll still have my health, my relationships, my life.
Will you? Or will you be bitter that you got passed over? Resentful that other people succeeded while you protected your boundaries?
Maybe. But I'd rather risk that than risk ending up exhausted and alone.
I'm not alone.
You're not? When's the last time you had dinner with Mom without checking your phone?
That's beside the point.
No, that's exactly the point. You say your way works, but does it? Really?
I provided for my family. I built a career. I gave you opportunities I never had. That's not nothing.
I know, and I'm grateful, but I don't want to replicate it because the cost was too high.
For you to judge. Easy to judge when you're the beneficiary.
That's not fair.
Isn't it? You went to college debt-free because I worked those hours. You had a comfortable childhood because I sacrificed. And now you're telling me it was all wrong?
I'm not saying it was all wrong. I'm saying there has to be a better way.
And you think you found it? Working 40 hours and calling it balance?
I think I'm trying something different. And maybe it won't work. But your way definitely didn't work.
It worked for me.
Did it? Because you look exhausted, Dad. You look like you've been running a marathon for 30 years and forgot you're allowed to stop.
And you look like someone who's never faced real pressure, real stakes, real consequences for failure.
Maybe I haven't, but I've watched what real pressure did to you. I don't want that.
So you'd rather play it safe? Never push yourself? Never find out what you're capable of?
I'd rather push myself in ways that don't destroy me. There's a difference between challenging yourself and burning out.
And you think you can tell the difference? You're what, a few years into your career? You haven't faced a real crisis yet.
No, but I've watched you face them. And every time, it cost you something. Your health, your time, your presence.
That's called responsibility. When you're responsible for a team, for outcomes, you can't just clock out at 5.
Why not? What happens if you do?
Projects fail. Deadlines are missed. People lose confidence in your leadership.
Or maybe projects succeed anyway. Maybe deadlines are met because the team is well managed. Maybe people have more confidence because you trust them to do their jobs.
That's naive.
Maybe. Or maybe your assumption that everything will fall apart without you is what's naive.
I've seen things fall apart. I've been there when projects failed because people weren't committed enough.
Or maybe projects failed because people were burned out, exhausted, making mistakes because they were too tired to think straight.
You don't know what you're talking about.
And you're not willing to consider that your way might not be the only way.
My way got results.
At what cost?
Why do you keep asking that? As if the cost invalidates everything I accomplished.
I'm asking because the cost matters. Success that destroys you isn't really success.
And boundaries that limit you aren't really protection. They're just excuses.
You really think that? You think I'm just making excuses?
I think you're afraid of what it takes to really succeed, so you call it boundaries and pretend you're being smart.
And I think you're afraid to admit that you sacrificed too much, so you call it dedication and pretend it was worth it.
It was worth it.
Was it? Because from where I'm sitting, you seem pretty miserable.
I'm not miserable. I'm tired. There's a difference.
Is there? Because you've been tired for as long as I can remember.
And you've been comfortable for as long as you can remember. Because I was tired.
I never asked you to be.
No, you didn't. But I did it anyway. That's what parents do.
Not all parents. Some parents are present. Some parents prioritize differently.
And some kids grow up with more struggle than you did. Because their parents prioritize presence over provision.
That's not. You're oversimplifying.
So are you. You act like there's some perfect balance. Like you can have everything if you just set boundaries. Life doesn't work that way.
Maybe not, but working yourself to death definitely doesn't work.
I'm not dead.
Not yet, but you're not really living either.
That's harsh.
It's true. When's the last time you did something just for you? Just because you wanted to, not because it was productive or necessary.
I don't know. I don't have time for that.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
Or that's adulthood. Maybe when you're older, you'll understand.
And maybe when you're ready, you'll admit this isn't sustainable.
We'll see who's right in 10 years.
Yeah, we will.
Your way might not work out the way you think.
And yours clearly didn't work out the way you thought.
How do you know what I thought?
Because you missed my graduation for a product that doesn't exist anymore. That's not what you thought would happen.
That's one example.
It's not just one. It's a pattern. And you know it.
So what do you want me to say? That I was wrong? That everything I did was a mistake?
No. I want you to admit that there were costs. Real costs. And that maybe those costs were too high.
And I want you to admit that there will be costs to your approach too. You just don't know what they are yet. Part 3. You know what? I'm defending how I worked, but I never really questioned it.
What do you mean?
My father worked hard, really hard. Not because we were poor or struggling. That's just what men did. You work, you provide, you don't complain. That was your role. That's how you showed your family you cared.
And you learned from him.
Of course I did. When I became a father, I thought the same way. Work hard, give my family a good life, make sure you never worry about money. That's what fathers do. That's love.
That was love for your generation.
It was the only way I knew. And look, it worked, right? You went to good schools, we have a comfortable life, you never struggled.
That's true. But Dad,
But I missed your graduation. I know. But Sophia, let me ask you something. You're still early in your career. Have you ever managed people during a real crisis? Have you ever had to make decisions that affected whether people kept their jobs?
no, but
Have you ever seen what happens when a company goes under because people weren't willing to put in extra effort when it mattered?
that's not fair. I'm saying we shouldn't have to work ourselves to death, not that we shouldn't work hard.
But where's the line? You say 40 hours. What if that's not enough? What if the project fails because everyone went home at 5?
Then the company didn't plan properly. That's a management problem, not a worker problem.
It's easy to say when you're not the one responsible. When you're the manager, when people are counting on you, it's different.
Maybe. But Dad, you're still defending a system that almost killed your colleague. That gave you high blood pressure. That made you miss my childhood.
And I'm proud of what I built. I'm proud I could give you opportunities I never had. Yes, there were costs. But there were also benefits.
Were the benefits worth it?
I don't know. Were they? You tell me. You went to college without student loans. You had opportunities I never had. Was that worth me working long hours?
Don't put that on me.
I'm not putting it on you. I'm asking a real question. Because you're judging my choices, but you benefited from them.
That's not. I never asked you to sacrifice yourself.
No, you didn't. But I chose to, and I'd probably do it again. Because that's what parents do. They sacrifice so their kids don't have to.
But what if I don't want to live with that guilt? What if I don't want my kids to grow up wondering if I was happy?
Then don't. Make different choices. But don't act like your way is obviously better when you haven't lived it yet.
Fair enough. But don't act like your way is the only way when it clearly damaged you.
Damaged? That's harsh.
Is it? You just admitted you missed most of my childhood. You can't remember the last time you took a real vacation. You're exhausted all the time.
I'm in my 50s. Everyone's tired at this age.
Not like you. Mom told me you wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about work. That's not normal.
Your mom talks too much.
She's worried about you. We both are.
I'm fine.
You're not fine, but you won't admit it because admitting it means maybe you were wrong.
Wrong about what? Providing for my family? Building a career? Being responsible?
Wrong about thinking you had to do it all alone. Wrong about thinking that working yourself to exhaustion was the same as being a good father.
And what makes you think your way is right? You set boundaries, sure. But what happens in 10 years when your colleagues who didn't set boundaries are ahead of you? When they get the promotions because they were willing to go the extra mile?
Then I'll deal with it. But at least I'll have a life outside of work.
Will you? Or will you just be anxious about falling behind? Because you said it yourself earlier. You worry about not doing enough.
I do worry about that.
So the anxiety doesn't go away. You're just anxious about different things.
Maybe. But at least I'm present for my life. At least I'm trying to find balance.
And I'm trying to tell you that balance might not be possible. Sometimes you have to choose. Career or family. Success or peace. You can't have everything.
Why not? Why do we have to accept that?
Because that's reality. Life isn't fair. Work isn't fair. And pretending you can just set boundaries and everything will work out? That's naive.
Maybe I am naive. But I'd rather be naive than cynical.
I'm not cynical. I'm realistic.
You're tired, Dad. There's a difference.
And you're young. You haven't faced real failure yet. Real rejection. Real consequences.
So you're saying I'll eventually end up like you? Working all the time and pretending it's fine?
I'm saying you might understand my choices better when you've lived a little longer.
And I'm saying you might regret yours when you've had more time to think about them.
Maybe I will. But regret is easy when you're looking backward. Try making decisions in the moment when everything's uncertain.
I am making decisions. I'm choosing differently than you did.
We'll see how that works out.
Yes, we will.
You think I'm wrong.
I think we're both trying to figure it out.
That's diplomatic.
It's honest. I don't know if I'm right, Dad. I just know I don't want to end up exhausted and wondering if it was worth it.
And I don't know if I was right. I just know I did what I thought was best at the time.
So we're both just guessing?
Pretty much. That's life.
That's depressing.
Or freeing. Depends how you look at it.
I need food. This conversation is too heavy.
Pizza?
Pizza. And before you ask, yes, I'm leaving my phone in the car.
I wasn't going to ask. But since you mention it, I'll leave mine too.
Really?
Really. Not because you're right, but because I want to have dinner with my daughter without thinking about work.
That's a start.
It's not a promise to change everything.
I'm not asking you to change everything, just try.
You too. Try not to judge me so harshly.
Deal. But Dad?
Yeah?
Deal. But Dad, one quick thing. You said I worked hard earlier. Just so you know, I've been working hard shows it's still ongoing. Small difference, but it matters.
Huh. So I've been working too hard?
Exactly.
Then maybe I have been working too hard.
That's the first step.
To what?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Together?
Yeah, together. Grammar focus 2. Okay, before we wrap up, can we talk about a couple grammar points from our conversation?
Sure. What did I mess up this time?
You said we just did what must be done. That sounded a bit off.
What's wrong with must?
It's too forceful for that situation. Must is really strong. Like a command you're giving yourself.
So what should I have said?
We just did what needed to be done, or what had to be done.
What's the difference?
Okay, so there are 4 ways to talk about obligation: must, have to, should, and need to. They're all different.
How?
Must is personal and forceful. Like I must finish this tonight. You're putting that pressure on yourself.
Got it.
Have to is external. Like I have to work late because there's a deadline. Something outside you is requiring it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Should is just advice. You should take a break. I'm suggesting, not commanding.
And need to.
That's the most neutral. Just stating a necessity. We need to hire more people.
So when I said companies must have people willing to work extra, that was too strong?
Exactly. Better to say companies need people, or even companies should have people. Makes it sound less like a command.
All right, I see that. What else?
The other thing is about I worked hard versus I've been working hard.
They're different?
Yeah, I worked hard is past tense. Sounds like it's over. But I've been working hard shows it's still happening.
Huh. So when I talk about my work habits, if I say I worked too much, it sounds like I stopped?
Right. But I've been working too much means you're still doing it. It's a current problem, not past history.
That's why when I said, maybe I have been working too hard, it was admitting it's still ongoing?
Exactly. You recognized the pattern is still happening.
These little differences really matter, huh?
They do. Especially when you're talking about habits, responsibilities, or ongoing problems.
Okay, good to know.
Should we move to final thoughts?
Let's do it.
Final reflection. So, it was intense.
That was definitely intense.
Part 1, you defended hustle culture as normal.
It was normal for my generation.
And destructive. You admitted you missed my graduation for a product that doesn't exist anymore.
I did. That's hard to accept.
Part 2, I challenged your generation's approach. You challenged mine right back.
You said we gave up. I said you're naive. We both made points.
We did. And neither of us is completely wrong or completely right.
Then part 3, we both admitted we don't have the answers.
You asked if the benefits were worth it. I said I don't want to live with guilt. Both valid.
I defended my choices. You defended yours. And we're both uncertain about the future.
Which is maybe the most honest thing we've said all episode.
So what changed? From the beginning to now?
You admitted you've been working too hard. That's huge.
And you admitted you're anxious about your approach too. That you don't know if it'll work out.
So we're both worried, but for different reasons.
My generation sacrificed presents for provision. Your generation is trying not to sacrifice either.
And we don't know if that's possible yet.
But we're going to try, both of us, in our own ways.
Baby steps, right?
Pizza with no phones is a baby step.
It's something. And I'll try not to judge your generation so harshly.
And I'll try not to assume your generation is lazy. You're not lazy. You're just trying to survive differently.
We're both trying to survive.
That's probably the most important thing we've said today.
Agreed. So we're good?
We're good. Still don't agree on everything, but good.
That's family.
That's exactly what family is. Wrap up.
That's it for today. We talked about burnout culture, hustle mentality, and the generational divide on work-life balance.
We didn't solve anything, but we talked honestly.
And we both learned something about each other, about ourselves.
If you're listening and you're exhausted, maybe it's time to ask why.
And if you're setting boundaries, don't apologize for protecting yourself.
I'm David,
I'm Sophia.
and this was Dad and Sophia Talk.
For full transcripts, vocabulary lists, and practice exercises, check the description below.
If this helped your English, hit like and subscribe.
And let us know what you think in the comments. How does your generation approach work?
Until next time.
Until next time. Key learning point.